Hey guys, E2A here, welcome back to another video, and today is the first full day of the Team of the Season promo, and I'm back again with another episode of the Team of the Season Market Update series. We're going to be looking at the prices of a lot of the better blue cards, as well as meta golds and icons as well. I'll keep you guys updated with what I expect will happen over the next couple of days and weeks to these player prices, and answering some frequently asked questions from previous episodes as well. So let's get straight into it with the blue cards, and you're going to see some of the prices in the background as I go through these. Now, initially these cards were fairly low. In the first half an hour or so of the promo, everyone who'd saved up their packs, they were all opening them up, and these cards were really low. However, they actually increased in price within the first kind of hour or so. As soon as that initial supply on the market had stopped coming onto the market, really, because everyone kind of spammed their packs and then ran out of coins or ran out of free packs and just stopped getting any more cards, and the supply kind of died down a lot. We saw the cards gradually rise in price again afterwards, and they peaked last night quite late, like 10, 11 o'clock. I think people were buying some of the cards for their weekend league teams, and then the cards gradually started to drop down again. And I think that's probably going to happen over the next day until we get lightning rounds later on tonight. They're then going to crash a little bit harder, then rise up a little bit more, and then gradually decrease till the next day. And then again when we have lightning rounds, which is 6 to 9 PM UK time, we're just going to see the cards, as they get packed, more gradually drop down a little bit. We are likely to have a guaranteed Team of the Season SBC, one for the EFL and one for the most consistent, probably on Sunday or maybe Wednesday, and when that comes we're going to see these cards crash a lot harder, but they will probably recover a little bit afterwards, just because everyone's going to suddenly go ahead and pack those cards, but then again the supply is going to gradually reduce. I think they will be untradeable SBCs though, and they're only going to be repeatable once. Ibra's by far and away the most expensive. His card is insane, it's like 1.6 million. But I do see this card dropping down a lot more over the next few weeks, because we will get a lot of cards with similar, if not better stats, and with better league and nation links too. So you can expect, if you've got any of these cards, it's probably best to sell them in the day before we have any lightning rounds. These cards will then drop down with lightning rounds, then gradually rise a little bit in the evening and recover, and then drop down again the next day, and that pattern is going to repeat. And then when we start getting the Premier League Team of the Season and everything, you're going to see cards like Wan-Bissaka and Ter Stegen and Alan, like these bigger league cards. I think these are all going to be re-released in their respective league Team of the Seasons. So when that happens, they're going to then be in packs for twice as long, and they will drop down even more. The cheaper end cards are all about 30k, so these are just a few examples of them here. It's about 30k if you're looking for the cheapest blue cards. They were like 20k last night and not selling at one point during the first like 10 or 20 minutes of the promo, so I invested a lot then and picked up a few, but right now they're about 30k. I think these will go to like 40 or 50k if we have an SBC, but right now they're sat at around the 30k mark. That's the complete lowest price for blue cards on the game. So expect pretty much all of these cards here to be re-released in their main league Team of the Seasons when they do come out. You're going to see a lot of the cards from the smaller leagues which may not get re-released. I don't think they'll necessarily get released anymore again after the most consistent, so their prices will then just kind of gradually rise up because they won't be in packs, and they'll start getting used in SBCs, especially for the lower end cards that people aren't necessarily using in game and that are fairly cheap. But for these cards here, which are all going to get re-released, don't expect their prices to kind of like plateau out. What's going to happen is they're just going to keep on falling, because people are going to be anticipating, especially if it's like a league that isn't the Premier League, because that comes after the most consistent, so you'll have back-to-back packs there, and the cards are just going to completely plummet during that time, because they're going to get packed so much. If it's something like Teles, he probably won't get re-released until we have the Liga NOS Team of the Season, which will be in a few weeks, so he will rise up out of packs because it's a really good card, but then he'll drop again and people will start panic selling before the Liga NOS Team of the Season comes out. So that's definitely something to bear in mind if you have any of these players, especially if you have ones that will be in the Premier League, so Wan-Bissaka and Stones. I'm not sure if there are any others in the Premier League. I think there might be one or two others. Alderweireld as well, that's another. If you have those, I'd sell them sooner rather than later, because as soon as their other leagues actually come out, so the Premier League, you'll see them drop down loads in price because they're going to get packed way more, and a lot more people are going to be opening packs during those big league Team of the Seasons. Now looking at the gold cards, these have dropped down a good amount, but they can go way, way lower. It's not the biggest of team of the seasons by any stretch of the imagination, the most consistent. So when we have the Premier League and everything, that's when we're going to see a huge dip in price on these cards. But nevertheless, Ronaldo is down under 900k for the first time this year. You'll see a few for like 890 or so in the 59th minute normally. So Ronaldo's super low and it's just going lower. Same with Messi, same with all of these cards. Messi's down at like 400k or actually just below that now. Neymar's insanely cheap. He's down at like 190, 180, very, very low for him. Ramos is insanely cheap too. He's down at like 60k or so. 60 or 70k for him. Aubameyang is very, very low. All of the gold cards are plummeting because we had lightning rounds last night. The cards that had a huge dip were the 86s and 87s. Like Alexandra went from being about 25k to being now like 16k or so. He's one of the cheaper 86s. So we really saw those cards bottom out in value. But I think we're going to see all the 86s, 87s, 85s rise when we have Team of the Season SBCs. So if you're looking to do any Icon SBCs, now's a good time because high rated gold cards are at an all-time low and there's no demand for them apart from if you're doing Icon SBCs. But as soon as we get Team of the Season SBCs, they're going to rise in price. So it will be a lot more expensive to do League SBCs and Icon SBCs when that happens. So now is a good time if you want to do any types of SBCs like that. League SBCs or Icon SBCs is a really good time. I actually did Prime Moments Petit yesterday, and because of the amount of people doing Icon SBCs, we're seeing a lot of the icons drop down. So Cruyff is very, very low right now as an example. The mid-tier ones and the baby icons are insanely cheap, like Stoichkov's down at like 400k now, which is insane for a card of that quality. Ferdinand's at like 300k, and then the complete low-end icons are so cheap, like 240, 250k is by far and away the cheapest those types of cards have been all of this year. So all these gold cards here have a lot lower to go. A question I was getting asked loads on my live stream last night was when should you buy your players? Now there isn't necessarily a best time to buy players because cards are going to just drop over the next couple of weeks and the next couple of months. Players are just going to get cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. It's just a downwards graph basically, and it's up to you where you want to buy on that graph. You can either get your cards maybe during like the Premier League Team of the Season, for example, at a cheap price, and you will be able to use them throughout all of Team of the Season, play FUT Champs, get good rewards, maybe get blue cards from those rewards. Or you can wait until like the best of Team of the Season or La Liga Team of the Season. You can wait another month and cards will be a lot cheaper, but you'll be waiting a lot longer without being able to use those cards. And it's at the stage of the game where it's nearing the end of its cycle. So I'd personally just kind of wait maybe for the Premier League Team of the Season, one of those bigger ones, not the most consistent. Players will be cheap. I'll be able to buy those cards and use them and have fun with them throughout all of Team of the Season, rather than being really patient, waiting all the way till like the best of or La Liga, right at the end of Team of the Season, when yes, cards will be a lot cheaper, but also I won't have been able to use cards that I wanted to use for like a month or so. So it really is up to you. There's not a best time to buy. You can buy your cards whenever you want over the next couple of months, and they're going to be very, very cheap the longer you wait. The longer you wait, basically, the cheaper the cards will be. That's it. Simple as that. So it is up to you when you buy whenever you buy your players. And if you've got any blue cards to sell, I'd sell them sooner rather than later, preferably in the day, not in the evenings, because that's when you have lightning rounds. So that's another frequently asked question there. In terms of investments, I've picked up a lot of discard price Team of the Season cards. I'll show you guys my trade pile right now. I've got a lot of those stored over here. I got these cards for like 20k or so last night, around the 20k mark. So they've gone up a lot now. But I got them at some good prices and I'm keeping hold of those. And then 83s, 84s and 85s, they're really good investments too, because we're going to have some Team of the Season SBCs soon. These will be perfect. Even like 81s and 82s are good as well. And if you look over on my transfer targets, I've just been mass bidding on really good cards for SBCs that are really cheap. So 82s and 81s that have good links. So for example, Arnautovic, 82 rated Premier League striker for 700 coins. That's such a good investment. He could go to like 1.5, 2k with ease, maybe even like 3 or 4k depending on the rating of the SBCs. 82 rated Zaza is a really good one too, because there aren't many players for these types of ratings in these leagues. So I think there's only Belotti as another 82 rated striker from the Serie A. Arnautovic is the best in the Premier League for that. Marcelo's a good Ligue 1 one, gives you loads of links. You want players that have good links. Politano's a really good one as well, Italian, Serie A. Just get 81s and 82s for 700 coins on bid that are easy to link. You've got people like Adil Rami, for example, as well, Belotti, Bernadeschi. There's loads of good examples, but these are some really safe investments. You can't lose out on these cards, and the likelihood is they'll go up to like 1.5 to 2k when we have Team of the Season SBCs. So I've been bidding on a lot of those cards. And I'll probably go unassigned with some of them and just keep a load until we have some SBCs. So that's a good way of making some coins, and the Team of the Season investing is also pretty effective. But there we go, that's going to be the end of the video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. Leave a like if you did, subscribe if you're new around here, check out the sponsors of the channel, Aniba.com. I'll leave a link down below in the description. They offer really cheap games and Xbox Live and PSN codes, really good prices, and they do big sales on the weekends, so you can take advantage of those right now. Use my link down below in my discount code E2A at checkout to save yourself some more money, and I'll see you guys later. Take care.